Tenants in a Texas apartment complex are frustrated that their landlord turned off the water over Christmas weekend because the landlord expected the pipes to burst due to a cold spell that was going through the area. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting topic for you today, and it's going over this apartment complex in Texas where the landlords decided that they were going to turn off the water, as a preventative measure to keep all the pipes in the building from bursting because they expected this huge cold spell to go through the area. Now, the timing was not good because it just happened to be over Christmas weekend that all this was happening. And, they did this before the pipes had even become a problem. So, as everyone knows, I think it was last year or maybe 2 years ago, they had a huge issue in Texas where, this cold spell went through. A lot of the pipes were burst. It cost tens of thousands of dollars to get all of the pipes fixed that got burst, right? So, the people who run this apartment complex thought, oh, well, we're going to, make sure that this doesn't happen again and we don't get caught with our pants down, and all our tenants don't have water for weeks on end while we're getting all the repairs done. Now, while that might have been a good intention, right, the unfortunate effect is that people didn't have running water over the Christmas weekend. So, and not only that, but I don't think that this was actually a legal thing to do. Now, I'm not criticizing the landlord. Like, I'm not saying that this is a bad idea. Well, actually, I am saying this is a bad idea. Okay, what I'm just saying is that I don't believe that it was malicious. Okay, I don't believe that they wanted to harm the tenants purposefully, and that they were actually trying to help, thinking that this was going to be a major disaster, and it just wasn't. Okay, it didn't turn out the way they thought it was going to. And now they're sitting here and they could be facing all sorts of consequences from the city, and it's going to end up bad. And I just don't think that they knew that this was going to happen when they decided to make the decision to turn the water off in the first place. So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Okay, as a landlord, would you turn off the water to one of your properties, expecting the pipes to break? Do you think that that is a good idea? Okay, now I personally don't think it's a good idea, and like I said, it's probably not legal or up to the rental standards that are required within the city. Unfortunately, we're kind of in a bad position where we almost have to just let the pipes burst. Okay, let the damage happen and then try to clean it up. That's the unfortunate position that we're in sometimes, okay? And, I hate to say that, we try to take preventative measures. The best preventative measure would be to try to make sure the pipes don't burst in the first place. And that, I know that's hard. I mean, I own older houses, okay? And, you can wrap insulation around pipes and, hope that keeps them from freezing. And, but you will never be able to completely prevent it. So, yeah, it's a bad situation to be in. I'm just curious what the opinions of the other landlords is. So, this article is coming from kview.com, and it says, Central Texans speak up after a weekend with no water and no explanation. So, yeah, this article has a video that comes with it, and I'll play that video for you right now.
6 people in her home for Christmas. Family who flew in from out of state, including her 3-month-old grandbaby. She says the Morgan apartment complex emailed that they were turning off the water on Friday during the freeze, but gave no notice of when it would come back on and no alternative source of water. Sophia said after buying groceries for Christmas dinner, she ultimately could not cook for her family or even keep clean in her own home.
I didn't expect to spend my money on water and going out to eat every day and going to my daughter's house in San Antonio to take a shower or, going to the gym to take a shower.
Sophia showed KView records of emailing and calling her complex, its corporate office, the Austin City Code Department, and her water supplier, to no avail.
Like, why is the water off? What did I do? Did they pay the bill? What's going on? Or, how long is it going to be off for? Like, they didn't even communicate with us to let us know.
All right, you saw the video, so let's get into the article. Central Texans are sharing their stories of water woes over Christmas weekend. Last week, KView shared tenant rights and violations and heard from many viewers who had their water turned off with no explanation. Sofia Martinez's son, daughters, and grandchild came from different states and cities for Christmas. Martinez says she was excited to have everyone under her roof until they could no longer stay. After buying groceries for a Christmas dinner, she said she ultimately could not cook or even keep clean in her home. We couldn't take showers or clean our teeth or wash our face, Martinez said. Martinez lives at the Morgan on Wells Branch Parkway. She said her apartment complex sent an email on Friday, December 23rd that said the water would be turned off due to events out of their control. Specifically, Mother Nature, referring to the freeze. But Martinez and other residents of the complex did not receive any notice on when water would be turned on or what alternative sources of water would be available to them, right? And yeah, this is a big problem, okay? So, this landlord did not do these tenants right. I just got to say it, right? I would not have done this, okay? Now, like I said, I don't believe that it was malicious. I believe that they thought they were doing the right thing and they made a huge, huge mistake here, right? And they're going to suffer the consequences of it because, there might be, sanctions put on them by the city. They might have to pay fines for violating city rules because I just don't see this as being legal, okay? And, as many people as were affected, and especially the time when it happened over Christmas, if it was a short period of time, that's one thing. But from what I read, the water was out for several days, okay? And it just happened to be over Christmas weekend. Yeah, there might have been a freeze to come through, but, we're to the point now where we're going to have to say, hey, we're going to have to come in here, let the pipes, if they burst, right? Because there's no guarantee that that's even going to happen, okay? Then we just need to fix it. That's it, okay? We just have to leave the water on because these people, they need to live their lives. That's what they're paying us rent for. Oh my goodness, negative landlord story I'm reading here for once. And the reason is because I want to throw this out there to other landlords because I believe it's a cautionary tale of, be careful, okay? Look at the rules and regulations and then think of if you actually lived in one of your units before you take any action, okay? If I lived in one of these apartments and my water was out for Christmas weekend, I would be hot. I'd be so mad, okay? I just don't think that this was the right decision to make, even if it meant that you had to suffer thousands of dollars worth of, burst pipes, okay? We pay to live in a comfortable environment, Martinez said, and water is a necessity. Martinez says she had to ask for help to buy enough water for her and her family after having to go to a gym to take showers. Over Christmas weekend, temperatures in Central Texas dropped below freezing with even colder wind chills. Winds reached 30 miles per hour to 40 miles per hour, but it wasn't until Monday, December 26th, days after the Arctic blast moved out of Central Texas, that Martinez said she and other residents had their water turned back on. There was no communication or explanation for the extended period of time without water, even after temperatures outside were above freezing and pipes were no longer at risk. Yeah, see, and I understand that in places where it is not normally super cold, the houses are just not built the same. The insulation is not the same, and they just didn't expect the temperatures to ever get that low. Now, this is obviously a problem going forward, but if you know that this might become a problem again, when you do your repairs, you might think about that very issue and might have better insulation, etc. So yeah, I'm from the Midwest. I'm used to it getting super duper cold here. So they built the houses here are more built for it, but we still have this same issue. I can tell you that I've had burst pipes in my houses before. And, you just deal with it. You don't turn the water off beforehand as a preemptive strike. Okay, so, the landlord didn't do things right. These tenants, they suffered because of it. And, they need to make sure that going forward that they don't do anything like this again. And in my opinion, this was the wrong move to make.